Hi everyone, and welcome to this Yoga Fundamentals series for complete beginners, or maybe for people who are just looking to kind of revitalize or re-examine parts of their practice. This is going to be a breathing fundamentals exercise, so we're going to be seated. If you're sitting on the floor like I am, I highly recommend you sit on a cushion, or maybe you have one of these yoga bricks, maybe you sit on a book, maybe you roll up the back of your yoga mat. Doesn't matter, just to have a bit of height under your seat. If sitting on the floor isn't comfortable for you, you can do this in a chair, have some back support, have your feet on the floor. Just make sure if you do have that back support that you're not letting the head rock back. We want to keep the neck nice and long. If you're sitting cross-legged, you're going to get that cushion or whatever you're using, pop it just underneath your sitting bones so you have that height. There's two ways you can cross your legs. There's one way which is called Sidhasana, which means simple pose. So this involves quite a boxy cross leg with the shins crossing in front of each other. Now that might feel really good for you, especially if the hips are a little tighter. The other option is called Sidhasana, where one foot is in front of the other. See how my knees drop beneath my hips? This is because my hips have opened over time, but if this ends up looking like this, it's better to choose the first option. And you can also totally choose which shin, which foot is crossed in front. It's just very personal, what feels best for you. So experiment with both. And then once you've found that seat, this is my preference, you're going to have a little bit of a rock back and forward on your sitting bones. So the spine upholds all of our major organs, and it really upholds our breathing apparatus. So it's important to find alignment. Obviously, if you're using a chair, you're going to find this more readily because of that back support, and that's totally fine if you want to use that back support now. If you're without, you're going to let yourself be slightly rocking forward on your sitting bones. So the pelvis, like a bowl, is just slightly tipping forward. Let your lower belly relax. Let go of any idea of the abs looking good. Just relax, splat, relax. This is going to be important in a moment. And when you relax your belly, you allow that natural curve of your lower back to come in. And you can also give your shoulders a roll up to the ears and then back down the back. And as they drop down your back, you can even just slightly hug the shoulder blades together to create space across the chest, even more space for your kind of breathing apparatus here. And then you want your head to feel neutral. So you can even experiment with what it would feel like to really overly lift the chin or overly tuck it. Those are two extremes, obviously, but then can you find neutral? Can you find a way that your head just feels like it's poised on top of the spine? Sometimes what's helpful is to interlace the fingers behind the head, and sometimes we have a tendency, if we're quite stressed, to lift the chin. So just experiment now with moving your head back into your hands, but not lifting the chin, just letting the chin stay dropped. And then calmly drop the arms. Notice what that feels like. That's your optimal posture. It might feel further back than you might expect, but that's the natural posture. And now I invite you to close your eyes. Closing the eyes is really going to help you drop into your body, but if that's not suitable for you just now, a soft gaze is totally fine. Let's just take a normal breath in through the nose and sigh out of your mouth. Let the breath go completely and then take a nice deep breath in and sigh out the mouth. Take a deep breath in, sigh out the mouth. Deep breath in, sighing out the mouth. Now, just go to normal, natural breath for a moment. Notice what it feels like to breathe in. When you breathe in, when you're told to take a deep breath in, do you have a tendency to kind of suck the air in? That's a really normal response, but that's not what we need to do actually for deep breath. It's actually way less effort than you might think. Notice earlier I mentioned about splatting the belly. Not a very nice expression, but that is kind of what we're doing. When you breathe in, your diaphragm, your central diaphragm drops. It's doing that anyway, but we can help it to do that even more by really relaxing the belly. So letting the belly go soft. No self-consciousness here, just let your belly relax. That way the diaphragm can really drop. When we suck the air in, we're stressing the body, and the diaphragm isn't going to drop as effectively, therefore we're not going to take in as much oxygen. So experiment with splat breath in. So just think about spreading and relaxing. And then that exhale will feel really natural. So for the next 5 breaths, the exhale will still sigh it out, but let's focus on the inhale. Splat and relax. So take that inhale, relax the belly, let the breath just pour into the body, and relax the belly. Inhale. Two more, 3 more of these. Inhale. Now 2 more of these. Inhale. One more. Inhale. And just let your breath return to natural breathing for a moment. How was that? How did it feel to relax? Did your breath become actually a lot deeper with a lot less effort? So now we're going to focus on the exhalation while still maintaining that relaxed breath in. So previously we've been breathing out to a sigh. Now I'm going to ask you to breathe out to a tss. The purpose of this is because when we breathe out through pursed lips, like a hiss, like a snake, it's very hard to push the breath. So in the same way that you might be accustomed to when you take the deep breath in going, you might feel like when someone says breathe out, you might go and push the air out. We don't need to do that. Again, the body it knows how to exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide. We're just kind of going with the natural cycle. We don't need to force. So to stop that forcing, it's really hard to force the air out unless you end up like spitting everywhere, which hopefully you don't want to do. So let's now focus on the exhale to it. So again, relaxed inhale. Now exhale. The breath can go out a lot longer, so let it go to its end and then inhale. Inhale. We'll do one more hiss here. Don't worry if yours isn't that long yet, it will get longer with time. Now, when you next exhale, do it to the ha sound, the sigh, but keep the memory of that sustained. So, inhale, relaxed belly breath. Think of that steady stream, you're not forcing the air, it's just going out like a nice thread. And then again, inhale through the nose, relax belly, out the mouth. Do this for a few more rounds. And notice how relaxed you already feel. This is the power of breath. And as I said, this is how the body naturally wants to breathe. We tend to just get stressed and block that natural cycle. So really, this is getting back to your most natural breath. Now, we're going to start to move into the yogic concept of what's called Ujjayi Breath. This is a Sanskrit word. Ujjayi means victory breath. Jai, victory. Sometimes though you'll hear this breath called ocean breath or wave breath, sometimes Darth Vader breath. I'm going to do an example for you now. You might understand, you might relate to one of those descriptions. So just listen and watch for now. This is Ujjayi breath. So, ooh, it's quite relaxing. You kind of go somewhere else. Um, so basically what I was doing there was breathing in and out through my nose, but I was using all of the little principles. So for example, when I breathe in, my belly was relaxing, I was letting that breath drop in, and I was breathing out through my nose, but I was mimicking at the back of my throat the or even the tss. So what happens is there's a little contraction or even a constriction, but we don't really like using that word. So let's say just a gentle contracting of the vocal folds to make the sound. I'm slightly forcing it there so you can hear. You don't need to force it because you can dry your throat out that way. So it's wave-like or Darth Vader-like. If this is a new breath for you, don't worry if it doesn't land straight away. You can always return to because really the sound we're making, the feeling we're getting is but with the lips sealed. So let's practice 5 slow rounds. I'm going to do full Ujjayi breath. If you need to go to open mouth, that's totally fine. So when you're ready, relax the belly, breathe in. Breathe out through the nose. Relax the belly, breathe in. Breathe out through the nose. Relax the belly, breathe in. Breathe out through the nose. Relax the belly, breathe in. Breathe out through the nose. One more, relax the belly, breathe in. And breathe out through the nose. And we'll close that there. So you can always rewind back and have a go at some of the different elements. Take your time with this practice. As you start to move into the more physical, kind of dynamic, the flowing aspects of yoga, it's really good to first master the breath. The breath is the skill, mastering the breath is the skill that underpins everything else. It doesn't really get represented that much because breath isn't all that visual, so you'll see a lot of yoga poses, you'll see a lot of tutorials on how to do a handstand, but really the thing that underpins that skill is breath. And also you'll probably notice with practice, this really helps, this kind of breathing with anxiety, with stress, with sleeping issues, with insomnia. If you fit this practice in every day, you're going to notice a huge difference to your life. So, thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you found that useful. Please let me know in the comments whether you find this interesting or kind of what you'd like to see next. Please, if you enjoy my channel, subscribe, leave a nice comment. And I hope to see you for the next class. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.